Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing an activity using the story you listened to yesterday. The story is called The Kite from Days with Frog and Toad. And today we're going to be focusing on story structure. Story structure focuses on characters, setting, and plot. What happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Do you remember what a character is? Think about it. We learned about this all year long. Tell the person you're working with what a character is. Characters are people, things, or animals in a story. Like, for example, Frozen, the characters are Olaf, Sven, Elsa, Anna. They're the people in the story, or the characters in the story. Who are the characters in the text, The Kite? You can say it orally, you can write it down, or you can draw a picture. But what I would like you to do is get out a piece of paper, you can use your journal and a pencil, and I want you to write down the sentence frame. The characters in the text are, and like I said before, you can draw a picture, write it, or say it orally. Let's look back at the text. Who is in the story? Who are the important characters in the story? Let's look in the text and see who is in the story. And on that line in that sentence frame, what I would like you to do is write down who the characters are. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, let's check your work. The characters in the text are Frog and Toad. Did you get that right? Great job. The next thing we're going to do is focus on the setting. Do you remember what setting is? Tell the person you're working with what setting is. The setting is where the text takes place. It could be when also. Is it during the nighttime or the daytime? So let's look back at the text. And I want you to think, where is Frog and Toad? Are they at school? No. Are they at the Dollar Tree? No. Where are they? Use this sentence frame to help you. The setting in the text is, and you can draw it, you can write it, or you can say it orally. Now check your answer. The setting in the text is outside in the meadow. Now you could have also wrote in the garden or in the field. It's daytime. But I found this right in the words. Toad ran back across the meadow. All right, the next part, plot. Plot is what happens in the text, in the beginning, the middle, and the end. We use sequence words or transition words to discuss the events that happen. In school, we usually use the words first, next, then, and last, but we can also use different words. We could use the words to start or to begin, also, second, or third. And when we're talking about the last detail, we could say finally or last but not least. So I want you to think back about what happened in the beginning of the story. I'm going to use the transition word first, but you could also use these other ones to start or to begin. And I would like you to write this down in your journal or on your piece of paper. Remember, you could also say it orally, or you can draw a picture. So let's look back at our book, and I want you to think, what happened first? And I will read part of the book to you. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog, I will hold the ball of string and you hold the kite and run. So boys and girls, think back about what happened first. And like I said before, you could either write it down, you can draw a picture, or you can say it orally. Pause the video so you can take the time to do that. Now check your work. I wrote first, Frog and Toad wanted to fly a kite. Did you say something similar to that? Good job. Now, the next part in our story, or in our story structure, is we're going to come up with two details that happen in the middle, but in chronological order. So what happened next? Or you can use the word second. Remember, you could also use these other transition words. Also, next, second. So let's look back at our story, and I want you to think, what happened next in our text, or what happened second? And remember, your detail could be different than mine, and that's okay, as long as you have it in order. Okay, this is what I put. I wrote second, Toad ran as fast as he could to get the kite to fly. The kite did not fly. So he tried different ways to make it fly, but the kite would not fly. Did you write something different? That's okay too. Now we're going to think of another detail. So what happened after that? So we could write third, also, next, in addition, or we could even write then. So let's look back at our book. And I want you to think, what did Frog and Toad, what did they do to maybe get that kite to fly? What else did they do? Looks like he jumped. He's waving his kite over his head. And like I said before, you could draw a picture, you can write it down, or you can just say it orally to the person you're working with. All right, let's check your work. I wrote, then Toad waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down and shouted, up, kite, up. Because why did he do that? He wanted to get his kite to fly. All right, so now we're going to talk about what happened last, or finally. So looking back at the book, what happened at the end? What happened at the end? Use the word last, and like I said before, you can either draw a picture, you can say it orally, or you can write it out. At this point, boys and girls, most of you should be able to write some words down. So let's check our work. Last, the kite flew up high in the sky. So finally, the kite flew. Now, here are more activities you can do with the story. You can draw a picture to go with each part of your story. You can find and write words with these phonics rules, long I with IGH and YIE, or with these endings with ED, ING, ER, EST, and ES. You can write or discuss your favorite part of the story using the sentence frame, my favorite part is. You can write or discuss the problem and the solution of the story. What was the problem and how did they solve it? And then lastly, you can compare and contrast Frog and Toad the Kite to Frog and Toad the Garden by using a Venn diagram. How do the characters act? What happened in the story? How are they the same and how are they different? All right, boys and girls, have a wonderful Friday.